The first season, obviously, was the origin story. I mean, whenever you come out of the gate, you have to show everything and tell everything and let everybody sort of kind of see where the chess pieces are. So you have to deal with that. We also had a lot of the fantasy elements, the what I would call comic book elements in the first 6 shows in that first season. Angels, cyborgs, the demented clown. You know, the second season, I think, went closer to making a bit of a bridge in terms of starting to push towards the characters themselves. We're trying to bring it down to the urban level and make it more urban legend instead of like fantasy and sci-fi.
Fight! Spawn of the damned! Bring down the heavens! Smash in the gates! Burn them down! You must accept the fate that you've chosen! You will obey your destiny!
Hello, friends and subscribers. And welcome back to the 10th oh, crap, we're way beyond this. I'm recording this in January, but chances are you're not going to see this till February. God damn it. Sorry. Unlike Spawn-A-Thon 2, where I still recorded that in October, some pretty major events happened in my personal life in the beginning of November. So I guess that's another reason why I kind of dropped the ball on getting this whole thing out in a timely manner, but whatever, here we go. We are now upon the third and final installment of the Spawn-A-Thon, a marathon of reviews of the 3 seasons to Todd McFarlane's Spawn, which aired on HBO from 1997 to 1999. Let's recap, shall we? In Season 1, we learned the story of Al Simmons, a Black Ops soldier killed by his friend and partner Chapel on the orders of his boss, Jason Wynn. He then went to Hell and struck a deal with the demon lord Malboja to become a Hellspawn in order to see his wife Wanda again, only to find out that this was a dastardly trick, being returned to Earth with no memory, with 5 years have passed, looking like he crawled straight out of Hell. During the first season, we saw Al come to terms with what he is now, as he protects the homeless people in the alleyways from mobsters like Tony Twist, and protects his family from the pedophiliac child killers like Billy Kincaid. In the corner, Spawn has an angel and a demon on his shoulders. The mysterious narrator serving as angel tries to help him out and undo the curse of being a Hellspawn, and then the clown as the devil who eggs him on to commit violence to cement his status as a creature of Malboja. In Season 2, Spawn further explores his powers, but spends the bulk of it trying to protect his family from Jason Wynn, his former boss who had him killed. Wynn had his sights set on Terry, Wanda, and Cyan, after Terry uncovered Wynn's illegal arms dealings, and therefore he had to be put down. At the end of Season 2, Spawn confronts Wynn in his office and successfully threatens to have him back down. But as we know, this probably won't last, because as of now, the clown appears to be willing to work with Wynn against Spawn. And now with this being the final season, will we see these loose ends be tied up? Will Spawn ultimately become a minion of Malboja or free himself from the curse? There's only one way to find out, so let us begin this final review. After the opening credits roll, unlike the 2 previous seasons which opened up in the alleys, we find an old man being held in a cold cell. Ew. But something tells me this guy will only get crumbs a day at the most. This guy looks like a Holodomor victim.
Don't let the demons take you.
I wonder if we'll find out if that has meaning later on. In the alleys, Spawn has a nightmare of a Black Rider-looking Hellspawn coming for him.
Choose Hellspawn. What master do you serve? I serve no master!
The Black Rider then decapitates Spawn with his mace, one of the only few ways to kill a Hellspawn, but then he awakens from his nightmare, and we get another moment with Spawn and the mysterious narrator.
He came to you again, didn't he? The Black Knight will keep coming to you, tormenting you, until you choose.
How do you know my dreams?
Good question, but I don't think we'll be getting an obvious answer.
Within you are the remnants of other hell spawns from the past. You and I are connected across a millennia.
Spawn denies this, and then he tries to leave, but the narrator just keeps going.
It's time you had the cold, hard truth. I'm nearly out of time, and you are the only hope I have to finish my journey.
I guess your advice has not been entirely philanthropic then, has it, old man?
Look, old man. I don't know how you know about the dreams I have.
Humans dream, not dead men who have sold their souls. Violence is all you know. You thrive on it, but it only sends more souls to your master.
Spawn reiterates yet again he doesn't have a master, and the old man once again states whether he intends it or not, killing needlessly and savagely only serves Malbosia. Spawn then comes up with another turn.
The one you call Malbosia, he can't be real.
He is real, and you know it.
There's two ways we can look at this. Some skepticism of Malbosia's existence may not be entirely unjustified. I mean, where the fuck has he been this entire series? He first appeared in issue 1 of the comics, and reared his abominable CGI monstrosity form in the 1997 movie, but he's nowhere to be seen here. But then again, Spawn, this old man is not the only person who talks of Malbosia. The clown does as well, and you've seen his true form before, so why would he be lying?
What do you want from me?
I want you to remove that scarlet shroud. A hellspawn can be free of the curse.
How can you know that?
Because I am free.
Once again, more explicit confirmation this guy is an ex-hellspawn. But later we see some college-age lowlifes trying to introduce their friends into their shady activities while driving through the city. They then visit Orvetti's, an Italian butcher shop where they would frequent as kids, and happen to make good friends with the owner. Hopefully this will go well.
Hey, Mr. Orvetti, you closing up?
Hey, I'm never closed for you boys. You should come down to the neighborhood more.
Hey, Mr. Olvetti, you got any of that cannoli you used to give my
Hey,
pop?
Mr. O. Forget about it. I got cannoli, I got pasta shirt, I got everything here. Mangi, eat.
I don't like the way this one guy looks.
Not little boys anymore.
Hey, Mr. O, it's Joey.
Jesus!
Holy shit, he killed him? Why?
What the fuck did you do that?
Well, just doing a little favor for the guy, that's all.
Holy shit!
That's the way it's done, Frank. Quick and easy.
Amongst the commotion, Joey announces if the police come and ask what has happened, he'll spill the beans. The killer, Pete, just tells them to shut up and they leave. The drive out isn't any better, and they pull over to the alley so Joey can get out and get physically sick. But Pete has other plans in mind.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Frankie. I don't think Joey's gonna make it home tonight.
He's just sick, Petey. You know, I'll take care of him.
Is this going where we think it's going?
Yeah, you don't understand. I'm saying he's not gonna make it home. At all. So you do it, Frankie. You take care of him. Right now.
Oh fuck, it is. So Frankie takes Joey around back where he used to be executed. Joey begs for him not to do this, and he appears to struggle with him whether or not he should go through with it. Nearby, Spawn and the old man watch, but Spawn notices there is something going on with the atmosphere.
What's happening, old man?
The portal is opening, preparing to receive a soul.
Strange. It feels...
Familiar? Yes. You yourself came through. You just don't remember.
A portal to hell. Wonderful. Spawn then confronts the thug after he beats Joey around a bit more.
Why don't you kill your good buddy somewhere else?
Christ!
I'm sick of seeing you punks in my alley.
What are you, some kind of freak?
Yeah, he is.
Get the fuck out of here.
You're just taking up space, breathing my air.
Damn, Spawn is starting to sound like an aggressive old man tonight.
I want you gone.
Why are you doing this, kid? You don't owe them anything.
You think I want to shoot him? Joey fucked up. I brought them into this, and now they think I'm a rat, too. They made me. This isn't even my fucking gun.
Then what are you still doing with it?
Get out!
You think you control what goes on here?
You're damn right.
Pete and the other shitbag decide Frankie is taking too long, and so they further go into the alley to try to find him. Pete states that if he's too chicken to kill Joey, he'll end up dead too. So then they arrive, and Pete steps out of the car and shoots Frankie. But suddenly, amongst the strange phenomena, time stops. Only Frankie, Spawn, and the old man are unaffected. The ability to freeze time is one of the powers Spawn possesses, but the show does not make it appear as if he's the one doing this, so this is unexplained to me. Nevertheless, Frankie tries to flee the scene, but still finds himself there, much to his dismay and horror.
I can't believe this! What's happened? What's happened?
There's no way out for you, Frankie. The bullet waits. Which side are you on?
I'm on my side.
Your side? Do explain.
In my neighborhood, you take care of business, or business takes care of you. I don't have to do shit. Now why don't you two faggots go fuck off?
Spawn will not have any of this, so it looks like he's ready to kill him.
Who is the real executioner here?
Anyone who would murder his best friend isn't worth keeping alive.
The old man then brings up an uncomfortable truth.
You think he's the only one who has sacrificed a friend? You had choices about killing too, Hellspawn. You know better than him.
I was a soldier, stuck in a lot of dirty little wars. I took orders.
Well, if we look at the Nuremberg principles, claiming to follow orders was not a valid excuse to commit atrocities, although the results of the Milgram experiments may show people may be naturally inclined to obey the authorities, even if it comes to doing something like committing harm against others. Either way, Spawn, the old man is right. You may not be very different after all.
This kid's just taking orders too. His life depends on it. You remember your buddy, don't you? The friend you sacrificed in the jungle.
What'd you say?
And here we go. A flashback. During Al's Black Ops days working for Jason Wynn, he and one of his compatriots, Sykes, were captured by Latin American guerrillas, who then tortured the two for information. They ended up hacking Sykes to death with a machete because Al refused to give out information. But they were then rescued by Major Forsberg, who reveals he had given them false information to give to the enemy in case they were captured, meaning Al let Sykes die for nothing. He then comes overcome with the sensation of bloodlusting vengeance. And it looks like he's going to summarily execute the guy who hacked up Sykes, but instead murders his friend, letting him know what it feels like to have a friend executed right before you. The dude tries to run away, but Al guns him down as well. He is still feeling a bit enraged, but Major Forsberg attempts to cool him down.
They're just women and children, Al. Don't give in to the demons. I can guide you out of here.
Wait, what did you just say?
Listen to me, Al. Look at me. Don't let the demons take you. You hear me, soldier? Don't let the demons take you.
Don't let the demons take you? And Jason Wynn on site piloting a helicopter?
Let the demons take you. Let the demons take you.
Looks like Major Forsberg is alive, but certainly not well. I wonder who could possibly have him imprisoned.
And the way you felt. You remember that, don't you? Don't you?
Holy shit, Spawn's getting rough again.
Yes! Yes! It felt good. I'm glad I killed the little prick. I scattered his brains all over the jungle. Brutal.
Yes. For that would make a good Death Clock song. But the old man states the day Al summarily executed the two enemies, Hell became interested in him, because that is when he decided to become a killer.
You gave Hell a new player. That moment was the beginning. You made them look at you, crave you. Spawn was born on that day.
Amongst the dialogue, we remember that Frankie is still a thing, and the old man states that Al gave up his humanity when he was still alive, just like Frankie did. They then turn to him and state Frankie now has to choose between being a killer and doing the right thing.
It's done. Time to choose. The trigger has already been pulled. The target chosen.
To further remind us Spawn is on the darker side of comics, Frankie chooses to be a killer, throwing Joey in the way of the bullet and then executing him himself. His actions earn the approval of Pete, and the young men just leave. Spawn wonders why Malboja does these things to people, but the old man retorts, Malboja and Hell do not have the power to make their own champions. People become them through the choices they make when they're alive.
I'm not buying into your little drama, old man.
Why? Because you refuse to trust me. Then find someone else. There must have been someone you believed in sometime in your life.
We then learn one person Al trusted and believed in, the most when he was alive, was Major Forsberg. It is then confirmed he is in fact the unwashed old man in the cell, and he is being held captive by none other than Jason Wynn. Later, Spawn enters the same decrepit church where we've always seen him, and it was apparently the church he and Wanda were married in. But he still starts trashing the place and goes on an anger spree because the old man is now in his head, and apparently part of his human flesh briefly comes back. I initially thought it was there symbolically, but apparently it's really there, and according to Garib, it's pretty visible.
Al, what's happening to your face?
What is wrong with your face?
My face is tired.
And now it's back to being completely burnt and corpse-like again. Spawn then climbs up the side of the church, furiously annoyed at the bell ringing, so he decides to trash it. However, his chains get caught on something and he plummets down to the ground. He is then impaled with the cross that broke off of the bell tower. Ouch. And it's a good thing you're not a vampire and this cross is not of spiritual origin. The old man then removes the cross from Spawn's body and then drags him to his hideout, presumably to recover.
I am still alive.
No. But we get what you mean. The old man shows up and confirms Spawn's suspicions that this place is a graveyard. The old man has the remains and artifacts of all the previous Hell Spawns.
What do they call you?
I have had many names. In this time, they call me Cogliostro.
Cogliostro, one of the main characters introduced by Neil Gaiman, and essential characters to early Spawn. And as you guessed, he's also an essential part to this series as well.
How long have you been hiding here?
Hiding? I've been here for many years. You see, I'm the Knight Curator of Antiquities. This is how I have kept these relics safe.
Okay, you've been guarding these relics for possibly centuries. What else should we know about you, Cogliostro?
Well, I waited for you.
Waited?
In every age, a Hellspawn is sent. I tried to guide them, as I've tried to guide you. But they are lost souls.
I'm not them.
Then prove it, Spawn. But what else can we learn about Cogliostro?
This is your doom. What deal did you strike with him?
After the endless battles and the slaughter of innocents, it was I who was sent by Malboja to collect the souls and ride with them in the air at night.
So, Cogliostro was the Black Knight from Spawn's dreams. Well then, I must say, Cogliostro's Hellspawn form is even more badass looking than Spawn's. Cogliostro then goes on to explain that eventually he came to realize his honor was lost and began to stop killing, and then turned to sorcery to free himself from being a Hellspawn. But on an interesting note...
In that time, I was known as Merlin.
You know, I'd actually believe that.
When a man lies, he murders some part of the world.
Cogliostro and Spawn then have a heated moment.
If you are the Black Knight, then I want answers.
Your flesh rebels against you. The Shroud attacks you. You wallow in self-pity. You're lost.
Spawn isn't going to like the sound of that.
I don't want to hear any more talk, old man. You claim to be some kind of wizard. Show me what this goddamn shroud is good for.
No.
Damn, this guy has a lot of nerve pissing off Spawn like this.
You will, old man.
This is not the alley, Hellspawn. I make the rules in this place. You are in my domain.
Spawn then realizes something.
They may have taken your honor, but they stole my life. I came back for Wanda, but she sees me as a monster.
What are you saying, Spawn?
Do you wish to find the answers? What are you prepared to do?
I am going to get my life back. If you won't help me, I'll find the answers somewhere else.
Later, Jason Wynn calls up Chief Banks concerning the report written by Twitch regarding the police officer strung up by Spawn and then killed by the Violator in preacher form. He notes the officer's recorded last words were, "Red Cloak." He then orders Banks to hunt down the red-cloaked individual and then to contact him. With Terry now free to expose Wynn's criminal activities, Wynn only hopes to cover his tracks and try to take out Spawn, and with Spawn out of the picture, he'll be free to take out Terry and his family. Wynn, you devious Machiavellian bastard. At an indoor range, Sam and Twitch are keeping up with target practice when Sam is having problems with his pistol.
Worthless piece of shit. It's jammed. Fortunately, I can usually shoot the dick off a squirrel from here. Look at this junk, stupid gun.
Again, I just fucking love how Sam Burke puts things. But Twitch shows him how it's done. Alright, let's see how good of a shot Twitch is.
Let's just see now. Lucky son of a bitch.
Damn. I bet Twitch in his 1911 can put most Marines and their rifles to shame. Chief Banks then approaches them and questions them about the report.
All right, this is your report on one of ours that was killed in the alleys?
We closed that case. It was our caller. That cop was killed by a crazy priest.
Before he died, that cop said there were two of them. He also said something about a red cloak.
He did.
Red cloak.
Red what?
I think he said cloak, sir. I remember. That's a detail I shouldn't have missed, Chief.
Get me a perp. I don't care if you gotta eat, sleep, and breathe those alleys. And I don't care how much shit you step in. You should feel right at home there, Burke. Check it out.
Geez, NYPD officers certainly have a bad rep. Maybe because their superiors' attitudes rub off on them. Elsewhere, Lisa is having a phone call with whom we suspect is her superior, and they discuss her latest lead.
You got a thing for these psychos, Lisa. You always manage to get close to them.
Yeah, well, my job is to hunt them down. They all give off the same scent.
What scent is that?
Evil.
Hunt them down? They give off the scent of evil? I mean, we all know most of today's journalists are a bunch of self-righteous liberal hacks. But there's something very different about Lisa Wu here.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah?
You're spooky. Now tell me what you have.
This guy wears a red cloak. Hey, he's no joke. He murders people.
Well, yeah, but he didn't murder anyone who didn't deserve it. Not that I condone vigilantism or anything like that.
I'm gonna find him and deliver to you his head on a platter.
Jesus Christ, are you a journalist or a bounty hunter? Well, whatever Lisa is, she partially disrobes in front of some sort of altar and rubs oil on herself and chants in what I presume is Chinese. Spooky indeed. Sam and Twitch then pay Chapel a visit once again, hoping to get answers on what will lead them to the red-cloaked individual they are now tasked with finding. Sam thinks it's a waste of time, seeing that they have no prints or ID on Chapel, and all he does is go off about the dead guy. They try presenting evidence incriminating Chapel for the death of two homeless men, but then starts to go off on how he killed Al and now he's back from the dead. Burke is ready to toss this to the curb, and Twitch is reluctantly about to as well, but then he mentions Spawn's red cloak, and then he's interested.
Did you say cloak?
Chapel becomes a little anxious, about to grab Twitch, if it wasn't for his restraints, but then keeps it going on as if nothing happened.
He's gonna drag me back to hell.
Tell me, who's come from hell?
Simmons. Al Simmons.
And with that, Twitch is busy at work. While remarking the lack of onions on Sam's chili dog will lead to a slight improvement in the air quality, he comes across various articles about Al Simmons. And look who the author to these pieces are. Lisa Wu. Twitch then tries to access government databases for information on Al, but his access is then denied and he is being traced. But he then pulls the plug on the computer. Twitch later meets up with Miss Wu in exchange for information about Al Simmons. He then gets one crucial piece of information.
You tell me something, I'll tell you something.
Ladies first.
I wasn't allowed to print the fact that Al Simmons was burned alive on a mission that the NSC says didn't happen.
That's quite the piece of info you got, Twitch. So what will you give in return?
I'm working the alley murders, looking for a guy with a red cloak. I have a perp down in Bellevue that says he got a good look at this guy in the alley. Says he has a burned face. Now you tell me Al Simmons was burned alive.
So, will you put 2 and 2 together?
Coincidences do happen.
I don't believe in coincidences. Thank you for your time, Miss Wu.
Later, Miss Wu meets again with Wanda. And can you guess what, or rather, who they will be discussing?
I see the way you look when you talk about Al. You really loved him.
He was my husband.
No. I mean, he was the one.
The one. That is an interesting way to put it.
You're right. He was that one.
Aw. Spawn is watching and he heard that. I bet he feels warm inside.
Just hearing his voice excited me. When he touched me. After he died, I ached for him. For months, I'd sleep with his shirt or his robe. Anything that smelled like him.
He's in the room, and they don't notice him for some reason. Cyan then walks in and takes a liking to Lisa.
I've never seen her take to someone so quickly. You have a way with her.
Well, Wanda, if you've seen Miss Wu in her private time, you'd be a bit alarmed by that.
Is she Al's child?
No. Al couldn't give us a child.
And now Spawn his sad face again. Apparently Miss Wu appears to notice him there, but then proceeds to ignore him, asking Wanda about the NSC. Wanda states that Terry no longer works there and is better off now, but he still spends long trips away from home, not telling her anything. Wanda feels this is driving them apart from each other, but Miss Wu has an interesting suggestion.
Maybe you haven't grieved Al's death. Do you sometimes feel that he's still with you?
And where are you going with this, Lisa?
You've seen him, haven't you? The creature.
Twice. I've seen what he's capable of, and I haven't told anyone.
You know who it is, don't you?
He spoke my name. There was something in his voice.
Oh, so you noticed. But Wanda then asks Miss Wu to take her leave. After she leaves, Wanda has a moment to herself.
If you can hear me, Al, I know you're with me. I feel it.
Wanda.
Spawn is happy face again because Wanda, Al can hear you and he's much closer than you think. Later, Twitch finally meets Spawn in the alley.
I warned the last cop not to come into my alley.
Twitch then asks Spawn if he is threatening him, to which Spawn retorts that what would he do about it. Twitch then asks Spawn if he killed the police officer who was killed in the alleys.
You've got some hard bark on you for a little guy. No, I didn't kill him.
Murders have occurred in this alley. One victim was a homeless man. We have a suspect who wears a skull face, a ritual of some kind.
Yes, Spawn would know something about that.
Chapel, I left him alive for you.
This man you call Chapel, we have him locked away. He's quite completely insane, so naturally when he described you, we didn't believe it.
You believed it. You're here.
And Chapel told Twitch a lot.
He claims you're Al Simmons, a soldier who was burned alive 5 years ago.
What do you think?
I think you somehow survived a government cover-up.
You're closer than you think.
By that he means he only survived the cover-up by coming back from the dead 5 years later. Al then warns Twitch not to pursue this case any further unless he wants Spawn to find his dead body, dumped here in the alleys. Twitch just asks if he can confirm Chapel's involvement in the murders, but Al states that Chapel was acting on orders from the NSC.
Do you think you can stop them, little man?
I can do my best. You were a soldier once, a hero to your country. What happened to your code of honor?
When you play with matches, you can get burned.
Spawn then warns Twitch not to come here anymore. Later, Wynn calls Banks because he noticed one of his officers tried to breach his files. Banks believes it was Twitch. Wynn then tells Banks to ask Twitch to find out what he knows, and then, well, you can guess what comes next. Later, Banks, Sam, and Twitch go to the alley, and while Sam is away, this happens. God damn it! Twitch! No, yes. Maybe? He just shot you at point-blank range, and somehow your head and brains have not splattered the alleyway. Banks excuses himself from the scene, while Sam returns and reports an officer down.
Officer down. Get a goddamn ambulance down here. Jesus, he's bleeding hard from his head. Officer down. Do you hear me, goddammit? Twitch is down.
And just so you know, that black screen is there in the show. It's not a mistake or error here. Sam holds his partner tight, trying to reassure him it's going to be alright. And then Banks shows up.
I saw him. The guy with the red cloak. He came out of nowhere. Shot your partner. I chased him, but he just vanished.
Oh, Chief Banks, you dirty fucking liar. And holy shit, you're going to try to kill Sam too? But luckily more cops arrive on the scene and he puts his gun down. But Sam goes a little apeshit himself.
I'm gonna kill that fucker for what he did here to my partner.
Wait for backup! Burke!
Apparently Spawn has witnessed the situation. I mean, why wouldn't he? Spawn briskly evades Sam, running through the alleys, shooting like an unhinged maniac. He later returns to Cogliostro's hideout, and he plans to stay there until the heat lays off.
Why do they hunt you? What have you done?
They think I killed a cop. I can't hide from them anymore.
Out of all the people who has intruded into Spawn's alleys, Spawn has never killed a police officer. Sure, he's been a little rough with them, but never homicidal. During their usual back and forths, Cogliostro brings up an ancient book, one that could help Spawn break the curse of the Shroud.
There's only a single book like this one, written a long time ago, in the time of the mist. It can help you break the curse and defy Malbolgia.
What do you say, Spawn? You down for reading a self-help manual?
He made me a prisoner inside this shroud.
I escaped the Shroud. You can do the same and be free.
It fights against me. I can't control it.
Yes, you can.
How so, Cogliostro?
To be master of the Shroud, you must be master of your heart.
My heart is dead.
That's what Malbolgia wants you to believe.
It would make sense. How best to convince a slave to stay loyal? Show him there is no alternative.
But now inside you there is some good. Malbolgia is the mind killer.
Fear is the mind killer.
And he will seep in like a sickness if you let him. The Shroud controls your flesh. But there is a way to keep it from controlling your mind and your heart.
Cogliostro then explains that if Al wants to control the Shroud, he has to be a new and better man. Spawn asks if the Shroud can give his body back, to which Cogliostro says that the Shroud can assume any form he wants, but there is a cost.
I don't give a damn!
I don't give a damn.
I've already lost everything. There's nothing more to lose.
Cogliostro explains that the human form is more vulnerable, is temporary, and will eventually revert back to his corpse form. Spawn again appears not to care. Cogliostro states that the Shroud must envelop him to assume his most desired form, to which Spawn allows. Al Simmons, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, Twitch awakens in his hospital bed, but not all is well.
Twitch. Hey, buddy. Gonna make it. I told him you were gonna be okay. Back in business.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Not good. Twitch may have suffered brain damage as a result of getting shot by his superior. One only hopes this damage will be temporary. Al pays a visit to Granny, Wanda's mother, and this scene was actually played out earlier in the comics.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for Wanda Blake.
And who is this that's asking?
Just an old friend of hers.
Come on, Al, don't put yourself in the friend zone like that.
Well, now, I know most of Wanda's friends.
Hi, it's me, Cyan.
I'm sorry to have bothered you.
Would you like to come in and wait for her?
No. I've made a mistake.
Al, you've been to hell and back. Sold your soul to Mount Bosia, saved her child, saved her, saved Terry, went toe-to-toe with Jason Wynn and his men, and just like that, you're ready to give up?
Please, don't go. At least not yet. Al.
Granny?
What? You think I still wouldn't know you?
Damn. I love how Wanda's mom better recognizes Al than Wanda did. I mean, she's blind and he was wearing the Spawn suit at the time, but still.
I visit your grave every Sunday to talk to you and pray for you. I prayed that you'd answer me in some way.
I could use a few prayers.
A few? You've already been sent to hell. I'm not sure a few will be enough.
Just last night I had a dream that you were in a darkened church looking for the Lord. It is you. You have come from heaven, haven't you? An angel to watch over us.
Not exactly.
Granny, I wish I was the person you want me to be.
You've always had a good heart, Al. You just need to follow it. The Bible says,
"The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men."
if you see and hear with your heart, you'll be shown the mysteries of his kingdom.
The afterlife is not what the good book says, Granny.
That's an understatement. Al reiterates that he came to see Juana, but that he shouldn't be here. And then he fears never seeing her again, but Granny tells him this.
Nothing can keep you and Wanda apart. Not death, not anything. Just wait for her. Watch over her. She'll join you in heaven one day.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You always had faith, Granny. You're the only one who knows I've come back.
This is my granny. She can't see.
She may not be able to see with her eyes, but...
she sees more than most.
I think Wanda knows that you are still with her.
Al then takes his leave, and we're back with Sam and Twitch in the hospital room.
Feeling okay?
I have a severe headache.
A bullet to the brain will do that. The doctors say until the swelling in his brain goes down, they won't know the full extent of the damage and how to proceed from there. But there are signs of improvement.
Sir, you look like you lost some weight.
Yeah, little, you weren't around to get me donut. Hey, partner! You remember me!
That's a sign of relief. But Twitch says his memory is still shattered and he doesn't know what will happen. Sam says all he needs is rest, but Twitch is still a bit wary about his vulnerability.
Help me, Sam. Don't let them put me away in some warehouse. I want to get this guy.
We'll get him.
Not far away, Chief Banks is drinking his stress away and receives a phone call from the last person he wants to hear from.
What should I do with you?
Imagine being a young girl, home alone by yourself, and someone calls and that's the first thing they ask.
What should I do with you?
I shot the bastard point blank, Wynn.
Not even the doctors have figured out how he pulled through.
Yes. It would seem surviving a shot at point-blank range, let alone keeping one's head intact, shows Twitch is quite equipped with the most top-notch plot armor one could find in the late 90s.
Your inability to do the job has put you in a very difficult position, Chief Banks.
We're both in a difficult position. This creature told Twitch about you. He'll eventually put the pieces back together.
Well, at least you have some time to prepare for that.
When he does, you be there.
Maybe bring a bigger and better gun next time, Banks. Just outside, in the park at this hour, Terry meets with two currently unnamed NSC officials to give them evidence to bring down Jason Wynn.
I've been waiting for Wynn to step wrong.
If this information is what you say it is, Wynn will go away. Then your problems will go away, Mr. Fitzgerald.
Terry still insists he needs assurance for his family's safety, but it cannot be guaranteed at this time, according to the official.
There is a cancer, Mr. Fitzgerald, a cancer that has spread through the NSC all the way to the top. My job is to destroy the enemy within, whoever they are, wherever they hide.
That was ominous. Back at his office, Wynn demands that his secretary get the vice president on the line, but no can do.
What do you mean he's not available? He and I have this phone call every day.
I can only imagine how that goes.
I'm trying to warn everybody and nobody takes me serial. I just want somebody in the world to take me serial just for once.
It isn't long before Wynn gets a call, though. It's just not from the vice president.
Thought you should know. I was strolling through Central Park today, and there were two men talking on a park bench. Did you hear me?
I think he did.
Clearly. I was just thinking that a maggot like yourself wouldn't have the balls to fuck with me like you are if the two men on the bench were not a great threat to me. Something I'm sure is to your advantage.
Well, Jason, you could do many things, but threaten the violator? No. Kill the violator? Not even in your dreams.
One man was Terry Fitzgerald,
And the other man?
Vice Chairman of the NSC, Richard Sullivan.
Damn. Wynn was just undercut by his own second-in-command.
The guy who's been circling over you like a vulture.
I'll have to repay the favor someday.
You notice he says someday because Wynn now knows his days at being at the top are now over. But the clown tries to reassure him.
Hey, Wynn. You're a free agent now. With what you know, you just became the most dangerous man on Earth.
I think he was already that, but maybe not anymore if he's about to become down hard upon. Even with cementing Wynn's fall, back at home, Terry is worried and wants the family to run away.
What's going on? You've been gone 2 days, you don't even tell me where you've been?
By morning, Jason Wynn will no longer be the director of the NSC. He'll be brought up on charges of treason when he realizes I was the one who dropped the dime on him.
You know, Terry, your voice sounds a little different.
We have to go.
And start all over? No. There are laws in this country.
Laws? Are you serious? You really believe being a lawyer is going to protect us?
For real. Victor Love was the voice actor for Terry and Bobby in the first 2 seasons, and he was replaced by Michael Beach for season 3.
Wynn has people everywhere. We can't stay here any longer.
This is my home. I won't be driven out.
You're right, Wanda. I'm the one who's the target.
And with that, Terry leaves, not saying where he is going despite Wanda's protests. Back at Wynn's office, he rejects a call from Chief Banks, while his secretary says the press is here and would like to comment on the allegations. Wynn tells her he isn't there and is about to have his car pick him up around back. As she does that, 2 feds show up to try to pry Wynn's name from his office and arrest him. But he has already fled, taking something from his safe. Back at Wanda's house, Al assumes the form of Terry.
I'm sorry, Wanda.
Holy crap, he can imitate his voice as well?
What is it? What's wrong?
I don't know. For just a moment, I thought I saw them.
I will always keep you safe. I love you, Wanda.
Al will now be intimate with Wanda for one last time. Meanwhile, in the alley, Lisa Wu comes looking for Spawn, who she refers to as a man with the red shroud. This alerts Cogliostro.
Who is it that seeks the shroud? Jade.
Jade?
There's still a price. On your head, Hellspawn. You were the only Hellspawn to escape me.
Wait, what the hell is going on here?
As you can see, I gave up my shroud. I live now as a human lives. I live in fear.
Wind is picking up, and Jade appears to have some freaky powers if she can spook Cogliostro like that.
Tell the new Hellspawn I'm
I'm coming for him.
As one can guess, like Angela, Jade is an angel, a bounty hunter from heaven who has come to kill Spawn. Back at home, Al awakens from a nightmare only to see himself reverting back to his corpse form, with maggots crawling off him, and his burnt claws growing back, just as Cagliostro said it would. He then flees.
Terry? Terry.
Poor Wanda. She probably feels used. Seriously, she argues with her man who leaves, comes back to have sex with her only to leave again. I mean, it was Al, but she doesn't know that. After regaining his Hellspawn form, he visits Cagliostro again.
I have no place else to go.
There is someone else who hunts you. She is a celestial warrior.
What are you talking about?
He'll explain. Don't worry, Spawn.
A bounty hunter. Sent by the celestial masters. She was the Iron Mistress of Genghis Khan.
I'm not interested in a history lesson, old man.
I like history lessons, and Genghis Khan is quite an interesting historical figure.
You should be, because he also sent souls to Malborgia. Millions of them. He slaughtered innocent women and children.
It was estimated that he killed up to 10% of the world's population as it was during its time.
You look a little spooked.
She hunted me as well.
You feared a woman.
These spawns, long before you, they thought she was weak too because she was a woman.
I think it's more appropriate to say she's female. I mean, she technically isn't human, and if her specialty is hunting and killing Hellspawn, I would be very wary of that.
I tried to warn the others also. They didn't listen either.
Wait, was Genghis Khan a Hellspawn?
That's the skull of Genghis Khan.
Really? That's a nice piece. How'd you get it?
I'm not like him.
Is there no blood on your hands, Hellspawn? Heaven has sent their bounty hunter, and now she wants your head.
So, in other words...
Get with the fucking program.
Let her come.
Then let her come. Later that night, Spawn happens upon the scene of a pimp and his goons beating up a prostitute, and that gives Al an uncomfortable flashback. Holy shit, Al smacked Wanda? That is cowardly.
Is this what you do? You kill people with these things?
He's a super soldier. What do you think they do? They kill people for their country.
You're not a hero. You're a coward. Get out of my house.
Wanda,
I don't even know who you are anymore.
Damn, Al, that's one thing I'd like to forget if I was married and killed people for a living. The shitbags continue to beat her. Spawn is about to strike, but the police show up and they flee. Despite this, the hooker does not report them. Later at a station, the pimp and his gangs plot to sex traffic a blonde girl from out of town. It consists of an actual thug, a pimp pretending to be a white knight, and two thugs pretending to be security.
Hey! Beat it. I'll gut you like a fish.
All right, hand over your valuables, or I'll gut you like a fish.
You have to be careful, miss. This is New York. You just don't talk to sleazoids like him.
I was hoping to get some directions. I'm really hungry, and I need a place to stay.
Her voice sounds familiar.
Hey, are you guys security?
Yeah, what's the problem?
Listen, would you guys show this girl where the YWCA is? And here, buy her some dinner, will you?
Sure.
These guys will take care of you. Good luck, miss. If you need any help, just call me.
Yeah, that face certainly doesn't betray anything sinister.
You're really nice. And they told me that New Yorkers might try to take advantage of a girl.
Oh god. Your southern accent might make you sound less intelligent than you actually are, but she goes with them anyway, but Spawn is still following close behind.
What's your name?
Lily.
Lily? Like a lily white ass.
Lily is voiced by Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's appeared in such films as Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The Hitcher, Single White Female, and The Hateful Eight. What's going on? Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened to them? Looks like they were mauled to death by an animal. Unlike Spawn, when he takes out people,